Back here on the ASTV Sports Show with Dan Cox, talking a little baseball, Red River Valley baseball. We had a couple of championships occur in the last week or so. Let's talk about the Elmwood Giants and the Pilot Mound teams. How was that final ending up?
It was a good game. It sounded like it was a really good game. Pilot Mound ended up winning, and Elmwood took home second place in the Senior AA. But it was a really good game, apparently, out in Rivers.
How incredible is it, a small town of like 800 people, and able to grab a group of players from all that area to beat a team like
it's
like
always
Elmwood.
amazing.
It's impressive how they do it.
It's always amazing when we go to provincial championships, when the city teams go out, and the country associations and towns always put on a great event. With tons of volunteers, and the teams are amazing. They get the teams, and they are really good.
It's one of the things they don't get a lot of that television time, and they don't get all that recognition. But they come out with the dark horse and they pull out the W. So good for them.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's also, we got junior nationals happen too.
The Westerns,
Junior Westerns. Sorry.
Junior Westerns happened over the weekend, and the Elmwood Giants junior team that just recently won the Manitoba Junior Baseball League this year had an incredible season. Went out to Westerns and finished second place. Lost to a team from Saskatoon in the final, but had a great season, great Western, great league, great Westerns, great everything.
Yeah, it's good. So baseball's kind of wrapping up, which means August, September, October, leading into the winter.
Yep.
It's the off season. It's the second season. It's camp season.
Yep.
It's also a season where you see a lot of these players potentially playing a second sport, like a winter sport, and then playing baseball as well. So
yes,
let's touch on some of these camps that are coming up here in the fall.
Yeah. So the off season is where we get to take August is where we get to take a little bit of a breath.
Okay.
But then, like Bobby said with Challenger, there's a lot of interest in continuing to play baseball. We strongly encourage two-sport athletes, multi-sport athletes. Baseball is a very short season, but we do strongly encourage multi-sport. But at the same time, there's kids that still want to play ball, because if you put your glove down in June or July and you pick it back up and don't pick it back up till March, you're behind.
Absolutely.
And so we run camps in Red River Valley Baseball. We run camps for our over 800 kids that are in our associations. We run a camp starting at the end of August for our 11U and 13U kids that are looking to move up next year to maybe AA or AAA. And that registration's open right now at redrivervalleybaseball.ca. Over the winter, we have an open camp that from anywhere from ages 8 and 9 up to 18 indoors at East St. Paul, a complex in East St. Paul.
Yeah.
And then all the associations around Winnipeg generally have something running over the off season. Winnipeg South Association runs an excellent fall ball program. Other associations, Home Run Sports, always has great training programs as well throughout the winter.
I'm encouraged on the East St. Paul one, because that's pretty much my back door.
Yeah,
I love seeing all the young bloods going in there. And
that's one of our bigger
fielding.
Yeah, so Red River Valley Baseball covers not just Northeast Winnipeg, but covers East St. Paul, East Selkirk, as well as Arma Springfield. So we have over 800 kids in our association that love to play baseball. And East St. Paul, with that beautiful complex they have out there, is just one of our great places to play ball.
It's a good spot. I mean,
beautiful.
Good nesting for a lot of these young kids.
We've hosted last year and this year. We've hosted the 15U AA provincial championships there, both last year and this year. Both tremendous successes, not only for our association and the players, but for the Arm of East St. Paul and the community club of East St. Paul.
Perfect. So, Dan, tell me a little about the crossover and the cross trading that's affected with baseball and these other sports. I mean, hockey's a predominant one we see here in Manitoba, but when it comes to other things like speed skating or curling or other things that these players might be doing, where do you see the benefits of a cross-train or a two-sport player when it comes back to the spring training and ball?
It's not just on the physical, right? It's on the mental, right? They're always keeping their mind sharp when it comes to sports. As long as you're playing sports, you're always thinking, you're always competitive, right? The speed sparring, there's lots of aspects of hockey. Hockey is definitely a big one. We always find our best hockey athletes are our best baseball players as well, and that's the toughest part of keeping kids playing baseball, is that when springtime comes around, we got to get them back into baseball, but they're also playing spring hockey, and our best baseball players are generally really good hockey players. So that is tough. But like I said, we strongly encourage multi-sport athletes, because it keeps them going all year long, keeps them competitive, keeps their physical fitness up, keeps their mental fitness up, and it's just you can't just stop over the winter and expect to pick baseball back up.
Right. Is there one trait, I could say baseball trait, that's predominantly needing the attention 12 months of the year? Is it, like, when I say that, I mean hitting, catching, receiving a ball, footwork. If you had to think of one thing that a player should be working on at all times, what would it be?
Probably their eye hand. Making sure they're always keeping their eye hand. And that eye hand coordination with baseball is the biggest thing. Eye hand coordination deals with hitting. Eye hand coordination deals with fielding, pitching. So your eye hand coordination and your flexibility and being able to read a ball and read the action is where you got to keep sharp.
Absolutely.
And in sports like hockey, where you're following the puck, it's the same as following the baseball, right? So it's keeping that mentally sharp, keeping focused, your eye-hand coordination, because that covers baseball quite a bit.
A little bit of talent helps once in a while.
Sure, yeah.
Of course, yeah. But practice. They say
Yeah.
the game is 90% mental.
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
Baseball is tough because there's so much. It's one of the only sports in the world where you have the time in between plays to know exactly what you want to do. But you have to stay focused, and you got to be ready. You got to know what the situation is. You got to listen to your coach, and you got to know exactly what's going on. So you have the time to know what you want to do, but you can get lost. You can lose your focus. You got to stay mentally focused, and that is a huge part of baseball, is being on that edge and being mentally prepared for anything that happens.
The scenario and the strategy.
Yep.
With the proper communication from your first and your third base coach.
Once that ball's coming at you, it's too late.
Yep. You better know before,
you gotta know
right?
where you're going, and so that's the key. That's the beauty of baseball. Is everyone knows what should happen when it comes to you. It's making that happen and being ready.
So I forgot to ask Jason this question when we were in baseball in the Sport for Life building last month, but I'll ask you this: did you have a chance to catch what Vlad Jr. was doing during the All-Star game?
Yes.
Now, how impressive is that guy at his age for what he did, knocking 91 balls out? What kind of
the talent, the raw talent that you see on any Major League Baseball player is incredible. They can just play baseball. They're born with it. Or they're really, really talented at it, and they just play baseball, right? And what he did at the All-Star and the home run derby was just unreal. I mean, it hurt my back just watching him swing that bat that hard, that long for that many times.
He was jumping out of the
and he was doing
box.
it, and he was training for it. He was doing it. You saw some videos of him training for that at batting practice for the weeks before that, right? Mm-hmm. And so he was ready for it, and he put on a show.
He's just like his dad in many ways. The Impaler Jr. we'll call him, I guess. So
yeah.
Dan, anything else?
Swinging at everything.
Except for the balls that bounce before home plate. I haven't seen him do that yet, like his dad. But nonetheless, Dan, thank you very much. What is the website that we should be looking for again?
RedRiverValleyBaseball.ca is where our Red River Valley players can sign up for the camps that we have in the winter and the fall. And like I said, go to any of the associations around Winnipeg. They can go to their associations' websites and look up their camps that they're running.
Dan, I want to thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. My son will probably see you in East St. Paul, or see somebody there in East St. Paul.
Absolutely.
Right on. We'll be right